There is a way for us to increase our productivity with 500%, which if you can't tell, I'm pretty excited about.
Imagine showing up at the gym on Monday and being able to complete all 5 workouts for the week on that single day. Okay, it doesn't quite work like that, but I'm someone who loves and wants to be able to do as many things in my lifetime and in my days as possible. And now you've probably heard of this term that athletes and other professionals call flow. And I want to say that I've been able to find a way to turn this 500% increase in focus and productivity into a lifestyle.
And I can honestly say that today I get more done in one day than what I used to get done in 2 weeks.
And in this video, I want to show you exactly how you can do the same step by step. But first, if you're like me and you feel like a procrastinator at heart, then first off, let's just chat about discipline.
The thing is, I've always had great discipline, but in the past, I've just been really disciplined in making sure that I watch that Netflix show every night and make sure that I get my beauty sleep and sleep until 10 a.m. every morning and maybe miss out on a few of my high school early morning classes. And I'm realizing, Mom and Dad, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. That definitely never happened. The thing about us with the tendency to be serial procrastinators is that we're actually incredible at staying disciplined. But what we've done is we've just attached our discipline with our emotions. So we're really great at staying disciplined with doing whatever we feel like in that given moment rather than a plan that we've scheduled beforehand. And because that's what we've attached our discipline, that's what can keep people like you and I stuck. And we don't want that. But I want to say I've been able to maybe 20x my productivity. And I'm assuming that you're far further ahead than where I used to be, but I still think that maybe possibly the systems that I've been able to put into place could be useful for you as well. So let's get into them. LA is raining today. I love when it rains. I've always been someone who's been wanting to do it all, and I've been really hard on myself. And I feel like, especially today with social media, it can be very easy for us to see all these people doing so many cool, shiny things. And just as we're getting into the flow of working on this one thing that we got really excited about, we see someone else do something else cool, and we can easily persuade ourselves into wanting to do that cool thing. And that just leads us so distracted rather than really focused on doing one thing. This leads me to step number 1, which is prioritization, which is getting really clear on what it is that you want to do. Not what you think other people want for you or what you see on social media other people do, but what is the absolute most important thing for you. And you may want to do different things, but what I really have realized whenever it is that I am hyper focused and make incredible progress and tap into that 500% increase in productivity is that I've been uber focused on one main goal thing at a time. Sometimes it takes me a while to journal on what that looks like for me, but I highly recommend doing that and then breaking that down into what does that look like on a yearly basis, monthly, weekly, and all the way down to on a daily basis. I do weekly habit trackers now, as well as a daily to-do list. I've done a daily to-do list for maybe 3 years now, and it completely changed the game when it came to my productivity because there's so many distractions, which we'll chat about in a moment. A to-do list will keep you focused and on track on what you gotta do throughout the day before you have fun and do whatever scrolling you feel like. When we're clear on what exactly it is that we want, we have to talk about boundaries. Because I work for myself, it of course would be expected of me to take the phone and answer the message right back because I'm online and I'm just here at home by myself. Just like when you're working next to someone in the office and they start talking to you, of course you're not gonna not respond and engage in that conversation because that would just be rude and weird, right? But I've had to get really clear on my boundaries because they say that if you just get distracted for 5 seconds, it'll take you 15 minutes or something like that to get back into the flow and the momentum that you were in right before that happened. I've had to set really clear boundaries in place because I love my friends and family more than anything and I want to respond to them, of course, but for me to prioritize the things, the mission that I have, the work that I want to get done, I have to make it very clear that that's my work time where I cannot answer unless, of course, it's necessary. Of course, there's something emergency urgent to take care of. My dad, for example, he'll call me every single day and I've told him that if I'm working, unfortunately, I can't take the phone, but then I'll call him back later and he can always message me if it's urgent, then of course I'll call him right back. And Alessandra, who's living with me for a few months, we've made very clear that during the day we don't do our chit chat because we're so great at chatting, and if we allowed ourselves to do that, we would be girl chatting all day. And so we're very clear that whenever we have things to share with each other, we do that after a work day at night. To make sure that I eliminate all distractions, I always have my phone on do not disturb. I close down all tabs that could be distracting to me, and when I'm I'm posting on social media, I do my best to be very intentional that I'm there to post and then to get off. Or if I'm in there to find different trends or dance things that I want to do later in that day, I make sure to make it very clear to myself that I am intentional about the fact that I am right now scrolling to find ideas. And I just think that having that intention, maybe even setting a timer, helps me not get caught up in that very intelligent algorithm that it's got going, because it is very good, isn't it? A distraction for me could be the fact that every 30 minutes I'm getting a snack, for example. Then it's like, okay, this next week I'm gonna make a rule for myself that I need to work for at least 2 or 3 hours in between my snack breaks, because otherwise I continuously get out of this little flow of momentum. It's actually, especially if something feels hard, then my brain is gonna want to do something else to escape the hardness, where when I force myself to figure it out and stay down, let's say you're writing a book and it's like you don't know what the next thing you need to write is. If you continue to just sit there and write whatever comes through, eventually you will get into the momentum and the flow of your writing. When it comes to not letting my laziness control my day and not get me to do it, it's kind of like building a muscle. The more we practice, the better and stronger we get at it. And I definitely have days where it just doesn't click. It just doesn't work out. But I will say that the more I practice just doing it and really being uber focused, the less that happens, the more days in between. When it comes to motivation, we're never motivated beforehand, but we as humans get motivated by seeing positive results. So if we experience pushing ourselves through that resistance once, we're more likely to want to do that again, because we remember that last time we pushed ourselves past that resistance, we got positive results. And so we're gonna wanna do it again. And we just have to get there, show up and get started, and maybe use that atomic habit rule of just do 5 minutes, because once you've started doing the 5 minutes, then you get into this flow and this momentum. Daily, I'll assess what went well this week, what didn't go well, and I'll do my best to try and do better the next week. I just think it's important that we always evaluate, because that way we can make better decisions and just grow, right? I make mistakes every single week, but then it's just about how am I gonna level up the next week. And something that's super important to remind ourselves of is that when we are implementing something new in our life, we have to get rid of something old. We can't just expect to put more and more on without letting go of other things that we care about. And maybe that is getting up earlier in the morning, or letting go of our Netflix show and asking ourselves, am I actually willing to do that? Or how much am I willing to do that? Something that's been really hard for me, for example, is that I love to dance and I wanted to dance every single day, but I had to get really honest and clear with myself on what is the most important for me. Is that to continue taking my daily dance classes, and that maybe taking a bit of time away from my mission that I feel I have in life, and this other thing that I really enjoy doing, and what do I enjoy the most. And what the truth is that I always come to, my authentic, honest truth, is that I want to spend as much time over here as possible, and then I can take dance classes and dance on the days that makes sense for me. When it comes to productivity, something that's crazy important is our belief in ourselves. When I was growing up, I had such a lack mentality of what I was capable of doing in my life. I would see other people doing great things and be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But someone like me could never do that. And I've been on like a 10-year journey of really digging into my beliefs, my subconscious mind, my thought patterns, and really changing my mindset to believe that I am capable of doing the things that I want to do. And that's been through self-development books, but also therapy. And that's why I'm so crazy grateful and want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a world of 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy, and that way BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. And it's so cool because if your therapist isn't the right fit for you, you can switch to a new therapist with no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you can get the same professionalism and quality that you would expect from an in-office therapy experience, but with a therapist that's custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp at betterhelp.com/Pranoa. And I've also linked them below in the description. And something that I've been so good at doing in the past is come up with excuses as to why I'm not ready for something, why I can't do something. Like if I wanted to start a podcast, it's like, no, because I don't have a podcast studio yet. If I want to film in a certain way, I'm like, I don't have that film equipment. Like for example, if you want to start a YouTube channel and you haven't done that yet, and you're like, but I don't have a camera, then all these excuses are just excuses because so many people use their iPhones. And if I want to learn a new skill, instead of making the excuse that I'm not good enough for that, then okay, what course can I find that can teach me the skills that are necessary in order for me to get there? And the typical excuses like, I can't afford a gym membership, therefore I can't get in shape yet. I also can't afford healthy food, where it's like, could you just start off with going on a run in your neighborhood every day and buying things like oatmeal and maybe cabbage, because those are like healthier options that you can find at the grocery store? Can you research on Google and YouTube where the knowledge is free rather than paying for that expensive course? I really believe that when we make the decision, there's always a way. Working smarter, not harder. For example, I have to make 10 reels. Instead of doing that on 10 different days so that every day I have to get ready, I have to figure out what am I gonna do, get into the flow and like the energy of creating. Sit down for an hour or two, brainstorm on all the videos that I wanna create. The next hour or two, I do the shooting for all the videos, and the next hour or two, I get all of it edited or sent or whatever needs to be done for it to be finished. That way, it takes me maybe between 3 to 5 hours to create these 10 short videos rather than it taking me 1 hour every single day, which really takes more time because of the brain power that is needed when we have to get into doing a new task. Really ask yourself, how can I execute more in less time and make this thing that I want to do, that I want to get done with or get better at, more efficiently? And maybe even ask yourself, how can I delegate certain tasks that I am spending way too much time on? Or how can I learn from someone who is more skilled than I am in this field so that I don't have to figure it out myself, but rather walk the same path that other people who've gained success within this field have done in their life? And I feel like once we've done that, we can get into this 500% increased productivity. It's 4 a.m. and I'm doing my morning routine, and I'm realizing as I'm about to finish editing this video that I didn't make an outro. Take everything that I said with a grain of salt. Different things work for different people. I enjoy working early in the morning. I know for a lot of people, working late at night when other people have gone to bed is what works for them. You gotta figure out what works for you, because I truly believe that it is possible to get so much more done if we're intentional, if we're focused and motivated and passionate about what it is that we're doing in life. And we all deserve that if it's something that we want. I appreciate you like crazy. Subscribe if you want to join the family, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.